Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the absence. Just bringing you a new haul video of some stuff I picked up lately. So, I'm kind of a poor man. I don't really go for the thousands of dollars in keys usually. I don't have that kind of money usually lying around. Not to say that someday, once I win the lottery, I won't go a little crazy. But anyways, these are what I call poor man's pickups or poor man's keys. So every, couple weeks I usually go to out of town somewhere. I like to kind of do something a little different and go exploring. So last month I went out of town. There was a concert I was going to go check out. There was like this fair kind of convention type of deal, and they had some bands playing. And so, of course, I'm going to stop at the comic stores and bookstores on the way, see what I can find out. So we're going to take a look at what I picked up. Nothing earth-shattering, but some cool stuff, I think. First one I went to was a store I go to, usually when I'm in town there, if I have the chance to. And they have, gosh, like 3 or 4 tables of just dollar books. And a lot of it is just like 90s Trek, like any store is going to have. But they have some cool stuff there. And they'll even have like new releases. I assume a lot of them are just kind of like, slightly nicked or dinged or some type of imperfection. But they might have like 10 of the same book in some of these long boxes. But anyways, I didn't have a whole lot of time at this particular time I went there, but I pilfered through and picked up a few things. So we're going to take a look. One of the first things I picked up was Green Lantern issue 1. This is from the 90s series. I think this is the 3rd or 4th ongoing Green Lantern. I had this one back in the day. I actually had this one back in the early 90s, not too long after it came out. And it seems to be in pretty high grade now. I'm sure it's not worth anything crazy, but number one, that it's pretty solid condition. I picked that up again, probably because I had it back in the day. I just thought, well, I'll grab it again, $1. And also picked up this one, G.I. Joe 118. Some of the later G.I. Joes are worth a few bucks, surprisingly, just because they had such a low print run. And this one I don't think qualifies that. I think it's still about $1 or $2, but it was really high grade, and I think really you can pick that up there. I don't even know if that's what that is. I think that's really about the only flaw. Most part, it's pretty clean and solid for a 30-year-old book. I just picked it up because it was high grade. It's cool. Sometimes I'll pick up some of the Marvel G.I. Joe stuff if I think it's cheap enough and high quality enough. I have a friend who's got the entire run. I'm not planning on doing anything crazy like that, but the mood suits me. I'll pick it up. It's in high grade. And then they had this one, and this is another one I was telling you about, Masters Universe Revelation 3. But as I was mentioning earlier, sometimes they'd have like 10, 20 of the same book in these long boxes, and this was no different. So I don't know if these were, some type of imperfections or whatever. I mean, yeah, not a 9.8 or anything, but for $1, why not? Of course, now I'm going to have to pick up some of the rest in the series, but or probably just pick up the trade for that. But again, cool cover. If I see something that's got a cool cover, if it's a series I like, and if it's fairly high grade for $1, I'm going to pick it up. So next one I got was Darkhawk 27. I had the entire run of Darkhawk back in the day. I picked it out when it was coming out, and I sold a good chunk of my comic collection a couple of years ago, and I kind of regretted doing that. So, it's kind of crazy that you sell some of the stuff and you don't realize later on how much you are actually attached to it. So I've been going back and trying to kind of acquire a collection, basically put the run back together. And so this was one of the issues I needed, and again, it seemed to be fairly high grade. It was one on my list. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it was $1, so I grabbed that. They had several copies of this particular issue, but I probably only had about 30 minutes when I was in the store, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to dig through everything. I got through about half the long boxes. And then I picked this one up. This is Damage Control issue 1 from the, when was this, early 90s? 89. It's actually pretty high grade except for a dent up here on the cover, but I do have their first appearance in Marvel Comics Presents. Okay, there's a few dings next in here. It's not perfect. Anyways, But if you guys watched Miss Marvel, they kind of got hot again and made an appearance in there. And I think there's even a new series coming out. I'll have to check. But, so I thought, you know, some low-grade spec, or not low-grade spec, but some cheap spec, basically. I'm not assuming anything to go crazy, but, you know, for $1, and maybe this hits $5 or something like that. So, saw it in there, picked it up. Nothing crazy. This one wasn't boarded or bagged, and this was another one they had about like 10 copies of. Phoenix Song Echo issue 2. I picked up the first issue in the series. There's a little bit of stuff there on the side. Anyways, I had issue 1, so I thought I'd pick up issue 2, and if I go back and they have issue 3 and 4, I'll pick that up as well. And then I saw this Secret Wars 4. I don't know if I have this issue already or not, but I know some Secret Wars stuff's been picking up a little bit, and you know, the whole rumor that this is going to be one of the next big Marvel crossover movies. I don't know, either based on this or the original mid-80s run series, whatever that was. So, you know, picked that up. Nothing special. It's a cool cover. I want to say is that Alex Ross, maybe? Not sure. And so, you know, again, some kind of cheap spec. Nothing crazy with that. And then, lastly, from that same store, I picked this issue up. This is Avengers West Coast 93. You know, it's kind of funny. When I was growing up, I probably read more Avengers West Coast than regular Avengers. And I don't know if that was just because the stores I went to, I don't know, I always seem to find that in stock. But this was an issue I had back in the day, and I always kind of was, you know, when you sell a part of your stuff and then later on you regret it, you start thinking, well, what did I have? So I went back and started trying to pick up some of the older ones I did have. And again, there's anything super relevant about this issue, but it's a cool cover and one I had back in the day, so fairly high grade overall, I think. So I picked that up. But really, that wasn't the big score. I went to another store, and I'm more of a collected editions collector. And this actually had a couple of really nice condition omnibuses still in stock. I say in stock. They had these two. Let's see the price on that. $24.99. That was the price for each. I already took the sticker off this one. What's crazy is, like less than a year ago, this was, you know what, up to 200, I think, on the secondary market. It got announced for a reprint, so I'm sure it's come down since then. But at one time, that book was hot, and I wish these are used, but God, it's pretty clean. So I don't know. I'm tempted to hold on to that one. I'd actually pre-ordered the reprint, so I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to try and sell that one. But anytime you could find a nice omnibus for 25 bucks, I mean, unless it's like, you know, one of those ones that never did anything, you know, I pick them up. And then the Commandi one, not a big DC reader, but again, for 25 bucks and a very clean copy. So I grabbed both of those. I think that was the biggest score. I mean, these are at least double that on the secondary market. So, you know, that was kind of worth the price of admission alone right there. So I was pretty happy with that. And then that was all I picked up on that trip. But then the next week, oh, and I got to mention too, the killer about these Omnis was, if I'd waited a week, the store was doing a buy one, get one free sale. So I could have gotten it for like 25 bucks total, but, you know, I wasn't going to be in town that weekend anyways, and I didn't want to leave them and hope that they'd still be there, you know, a couple months later whenever I would go back into town again. But I did get 10% off, so it was basically 50 bucks with tax and everything, or slightly less than that. So still a good pickup, but that always, I don't know if that ever happens to you guys where you know, there's a sale going on or you just missed one, and some of that stuff always kind of like irks me a little bit. But. So that's all I picked up on that trip. But then the next weekend here in town, that same store, it's a chain, and I mentioned they were doing like buy one, get one free on their back issues and collected editions. So I had a couple of those stores in town, and I was swung by, and I did pick up a few issues. And this is another issue I had back in the day, Green Lantern, so that'll go nice with my issue 1. The Emerald Twilight, where Hal Jordan goes on a rampage, if anyone's read that. And I think this is about a $10, $12 book now. And it appears to be fairly high grade. If you few nicks and dings, but overall pretty decent condition. So I picked that one up, and I didn't see a whole lot else, but I did find this Punisher issue 3. This is the original miniseries. It's a newsie. A little dirty. You know, still decent quality overall. So I picked that one up, buy one get one free. So it was, you know, I think $1.10 with tax or whatever it is. Still a pretty good pickup. And then I went to the other one here in town, and had a couple books I picked up here. I picked up this Blade Runner. They had it marked as the SDC variant from 2019, I guess it was. Let's see that here. That's a pretty nice cover. They had like 4 copies of this, so I assume this book was not like of any difficulty to find anywhere, and I don't guess it really went up in value of any kind, but you know, for an SDC variant for 50 cents, I guess, $1, whatever, yeah, I'll pick that up. And then also, you know, again, as I mentioned, it was buy one get free, so I found this. And I pick this book up every time I see it. You know, I don't think it goes for a whole lot raw. X-Men 118, new X-Men 118, but this is the first appearance of the Stepford Cuckoos. And a 9.8, I mean, is a decent price. I think loose, again, it's not a whole lot, but I think this is about my 3rd copy. None of the ones I have are 9.8s, but if I see this, I pick it up every time if the price is right. So, nice. Decent little pickup on it. So, you know, with the buy one get one free, I mean, it's like $2 in tax. And then last one, this is actually not one I picked up separately. I went on House where they were having a sale or whatever. I picked up a couple figures, and this was a book that came with one of them. So it's a variant cover here of Shattered Glass, which is sort of the mirror universe in the Transformers mythos. So that's pretty much it for the haul. So as you can see, I got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some cool stuff, I think. Oh yeah, free pickles. So if anyone's stuck around this long, I appreciate you guys watching this. Again, nothing here earth-shattering, nothing crazy, but some cool stuff, I think, overall. And you know, for what I paid, which wasn't too much, I think it was a pretty good haul. No Fantastic 4-issue 1s stuck in there, Amazing Fantasy 15s, but you know, a little something to tide me over anyways. So again, guys, if you've stuck around this long, I appreciate you doing that. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Let me know what you think. And if anyone's read the Commodity Omnibus, let me know if that's decent, if that's worth a read or not. Again, I'm not a big DC guy, but it is a Jack Kirby one, so that has some intrigue to me. But that's all for right now. Next video I'm going to have coming up here in the next couple days or so, I'm going to show some other pickups I had. So thanks for watching, I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.